Here, I'm gonna match you real quick because you have your Christmas tree up. I'm gonna switch my plants now.
Getting festive with the background. I like it.
Well, you started it, dog. All right, hold on. Let me put this over here. I got this from Trader Joe's the other day. I don't know if you can see. It's so small. Can't you even tell a good tree from a poor tree?
I have like a fully decorated like big tree and like this little Charlie Brown tree.
Dude, straight up. Can't you even tell a good tree from a poor tree? Oh man, that was her throwing some major shade. It looks so little. Oh my goodness.
We probably start the show. We didn't even start the show yet.
Yeah, we should start the show.
Guys, family, friends, welcome to another. I guess technically we're in the holidays now, so this would be the first of a few holiday episodes. The Cook and the Coach. I'm Baeza. I am the coach.
I'm Kenny. I'm the cook. We have our Christmas tree set up. We have my beautiful rosemary tree right here.
I don't know if beautiful is the word I'd use, but it's a tree.
It looks so dismal compared to yours.
That's the thing. I don't think it'd be bad, but like compared to what I got right here in the background, it's pretty bad.
Look, dude, I switched this up last second. With the wrapping, it's behind a couch. Here, let me. If this is on a kitchen counter, this will look nice. This isn't supposed to be in the living room, you know?
I like how it has like one bow and that's like all there's on there.
Yeah, and just red paper, so it looks better. It's pretty. It's edible. That's what's going on here. But it's my only Christmas decorations right now. I got to do more. You're so right about those the lights, Christmas lights, adding such a vibe. They have them along Nicollet. They put them up really early, which I really like. It's good to have them up for Christmas and just the holidays, but keep them up for a few extra months. If you got snow and it's a little bit dark and like a little bit gray in the sky, keep them up. I have no problem with that.
Even like in your bedroom, if you have like the not the colored version, obviously, but like just like regular like lights, like Christmas style lights in the bedroom or like a recording studio, it definitely like adds to it, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think yeah, when it's just like the light. Well, when I can't say you that's a dumb joke, but you're like, "Oh, the colored lights. I'm not a fan of those, but the white lights." That's what you just said. And I was about to repeat that and then I was like, I can't.
And you know what? I'm allowed to say it.
I'm not going down that road, Baze. Not this holiday season.
Oh, you won't get canceled.
Yeah.
If we get canceled from this,
Yeah.
I'd be proud. That means we have good reach.
Yeah, that
if
means
we get canceled on this.
People are watching it. I would be flattered actually if someone canceled me.
I would be happy actually if we got canceled from this. That'd be awesome.
Oh man. Oh, you're gonna cancel me? That's dope. That's fun.
That should be our goal in 2021 is to get canceled.
That can be your goal.
Oh, what's gonna happen, Ken?
I don't even know.
Your mom's getting mad at you. They can write you a little mean Facebook message.
Yeah,
like,
I think that's
that's gonna be the extent of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm in a weird mood right now. Guess what just happened outside of my apartment window?
Knowing your neighborhood, a lot of things could have just happened.
So I'm on the 5th floor and I'm like setting up for the podcast and I hear some like maybe some yelling and I like get up and look out the window and there's like 3 guys like walking around like our above ground part of the parking lot, like trying to open car doors and like kind of running to another car door trying to open it. And then I'm like, oh shit, they're trying to rob. And so like I start knocking on the window and then I listen and then all these other like apartments around me, they're all the other units, they start knocking too. And the guys like look like, oh shit. They like run away. This is my neighborhood. It's 9 p.m. when this happened. It's not even that late.
And I've told you this. What I love, my favorite thing about your apartment is you're for people who don't know, Kenny grew up in the hood.
Mm-hmm.
He had a large family that grew up in a little house in the hood.
Yeah.
And then his family upgrades to get a nice place in the suburbs. Really nice place.
Yeah, it's a cute spot.
And then a year later, Kenny moves out to a really nice apartment in one of the sketchiest neighborhoods in
the hood. Yeah.
The irony
Yeah.
of it all is my favorite part about
Dude, I
Kingdom
had
Come,
to go
man.
back to
The
the
pure
hood.
irony.
It's
That's the thing
yeah,
people
dude.
realize about us. You're probably more street than I am,
Maybe.
for
But
sure. For sure.
well, but I don't know.
I
But
lived in the
then
suburbs my whole life.
I also feel like I was kind of sheltered from what was going down. Like my dad would mention things like how like years after I would have needed to use this information, he was like, oh yeah, well, like when you're walking like east side, like, like, and he was like describing like the way he does like eye contact and the way he like walks to not get fucked with. And he's like, well, but, and that. I'm like, no, I don't.
No, I don't. Nobody used information back then.
Yeah, that would have been good when I was like getting threatened when I walked to get a newspaper. Like that would have been good to know.
That's hilarious. So, guys, it is officially meat week. Hashtag meat week. Hashtag, I don't even know what other hashtags I used in my Instagram post today.
Hmm.
But basically, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday will be like my super max days, basically. So basically, what that means is today I did squat. So I did my opening lift that I'm going to do on Saturday, which was like 515, 520 ish, somewhere in that range. Did it one time, and then after that, I would do super maxes. So I would load the bar with like 120, 125% of my max, and which is a lot. That's like it was almost like 600 pounds in the bar.
Whoa.
And what you do is you're not supposed to do a rep. What you're supposed to do is just hold the position you're gonna be in before you start the movement. You
Hmm.
hold it there as long as you can. Do it for about 5 to 7, 8 seconds, and then you re-rack the bar.
Hmm.
And what that's supposed to do is get your body primed and stimulate your central nervous system so that when you're competing on competition day, your body is familiar and used to that weight being so heavy on the holding position that when you're going with lighter weight, which I would be doing in competition, it won't feel as treacherous.
Hmm.
Now, I had some issues today because my shirt was a little bit slippery. I didn't have chalk on my back, and my elbow was really bothering me a lot. Like my forearms have been killing me this past weekend, so I
Hmm.
wasn't able to hold it. So the third time I was doing it, it actually slipped. So
Hmm.
I had a safety super high, so in
Sure.
case that would happen. So I was
Well, that's
totally
good.
fine, no injuries or anything.
That's
But
good.
but yeah. So tomorrow I have bench, so I'm trying to put some heat packs on my forearm and stuff just to make sure I can hold everything like I'm supposed to.
Right.
Because tomorrow I bench, I'm gonna do like 320, 325 for my first rep.
Hmm.
Then I'm gonna hold the bar, hold 400 pounds above my body for like 10 seconds. And
Wow.
that's, even though I'm not actually doing a rep, it's still a workout in of itself.
Hmm.
So I want to make sure I'm ready for that.
That's wild.
But yeah,
Question
so I'll
for
do
that.
this.
Question for
Yeah.
you about that. So when you're getting, so you're saying like you'll hold like you set up to like 125% of your normal max weight just so you can get your central nervous system like ready for that. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you're getting into those like those numbers where we're talking like world class like competitors like where they're pushing like world records and such, are they holding 110, 15, 20% of their max, or is it getting to this point where it's like too dangerous for them and they have to switch up their
That
strategy?
that is an excellent question. Um, the way that I train is not the way that 95% of powerlifters train.
Hmm.
So the programming that I do for myself is in a lot of ways pretty similar to the programming I'll give to my athletes.
Hmm.
The way that most powerlifting coaches coach is a whole nother system way of training that I don't even do.
Sure.
Um, and that's like a whole podcast, like a 40-minute episode that I can go into.
Oh well.
Um, but um, but to keep it keep it absolutely minimal. What people that do in a world class stage, like Amanda Lawrence, who is actually competing at the place I'm going to be competing at this Saturday. Actually saw her walking in. I was walking out.
Cool.
What people like that will do is the week of, they'll do their openers and then that's it. They don't do any more work. They don't do any more reps. Do the opener, done, and they don't touch a barbell for 3 days going into a meet.
Wow.
For me, I will bench tomorrow. I'll do my first deadlift set and then do some deadlift similar type of stuff where I'll be pulling the bar against my own weight. I'll show a video on my Instagram later. We can talk about it next time. But and then Thursday I'll do some like cardio, just some like 15 minutes of cardio. Just get sweat going, get sweat.
Sure.
And then I'm gonna go to my guy Josh. He's gonna do some body work on me. And then Friday it's just stretch for 15, 20 minutes, and that's it.
Nice. Very cool.
So I'll go about 2 days without touching a barbell, almost 3 days until I touch a barbell again from Wednesday to Saturday. So
Sure.
yeah.
Gotcha. Nice. That's very exciting.
Coaching wise, still the same. We can't do anything. Basically, I gave my athletes body workouts to do at home, and yeah, they're doing that for a time being. When
That's
they
good.
come back, we'll get them underneath the barbell, get them back going again. But until then, go home, do your bodyweight workouts, do whatever you can with dumbbells at home, and that's pretty much it.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Work with what you got.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. Rev is actually planning on coming down to the meet and filming some stuff for me. Taking pictures and
Nice.
filming me. So yeah.
Yay. That's great.
This is funny because it's actually a shorter drive for him than it is for me to get there. So
For real?
well. Yeah. Because I'm like an hour away from Madison.
Oh, sure.
And he's like right in the border between Wisconsin and Illinois. So
good. Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah.
He just put up his we should shout it out. He just started an Instagram page again.
Shout out to Rev.
Shout out to Rev. If you're on Instagram, you can go to B, it looks like __A___ photo. You'll find like Braden Anderson there, and he's like, it's like his professional photography page, and he just started it the other day, but he's been taking great photos for quite a while, so check it out.
Yeah. Ken, what you got?
This is something we've discussed before with just restaurants closing and stuff because of COVID, and we don't need to get like too depressing or whatever about that, but it is a bummer. More have been closing here in Minnesota. It's not unheard of for a restaurant that's even popular during the summer to close up during the winter. Say if they have like a really strong like patio presence, or like a rooftop, and maybe they're just not the best food, or they haven't developed a great following, it's not unheard of for a place to close up seasonally. Because we're in Minnesota and all of the precipitation and stuff, it'll be a more difficult season for a lot of restaurants just because there's going to be such limited indoor seating, most likely. I mean, right now there's none allowed, and it's probably going to stay similar to that, through some of the winter. Maybe they'll let some happen, but I don't really know. So like restaurants are thinking like, okay, our next best money-making opportunity is going to be like a late spring, early summer, when we can open up patios again and just take full advantage of that. So when you're seeing headlines like, oh, restaurants are closing, well, yes, some of them definitely are, and it's a big bummer. Some of them, like, they can't afford to be at the location that they're at in terms of like just their rent is too expensive compared to how much money they're making off of their food sales and everything. So maybe they have to like move locations, or they're currently looking for a different tenant, like it's a bummer. Like Chef Justin Sutherland, who I used to do like marketing for Handsome Hog. They are temporarily closing, fingers crossed. They're hoping to reopen later, but and they have, I think, a pretty good thing worked out with their actual location situation. Like I don't know if you saw Baez, but they opened a patio like just in time. They had been concepting that, I think, or they had been tossing around the idea of having a patio since I was working there, which has got to be like, man,
Oh wow, that's a long time.
I know, right? It's been, I'm losing track of time, but I feel like it was a year or two ago. But yeah, they've been thinking about it for forever, and they got it ready just in time for everything to, just when they really needed it. But anyways, like Grand Cafe is another one where it just they're an example of one where they can't afford to stay at that spot anymore, their actual restaurant location. So the restaurant has closed, but like Grand Cafe, they still exist. Like the chefs are still like, they still have that brand, that concept, if you will, and they're trying to figure out like, what do we do with this? Do we do I mean, I'm sure they're tossing around all sorts of ideas for how they might want to put the brand elsewhere. Um, but yeah, if you're trying to support, like obviously we've talked about takeout and stuff. There's just going to be fewer options for takeout in general. Like there are options for that, like family meal, smaller portions, like takeout. And I think we might have touched on this a while back, but one thing that restaurants are doing now, they're almost becoming they're leaning into almost a grocery store method. Like they're kind of becoming a spot to find particular ingredients and I don't want to say rations, but provisions is kind of what they're calling it, like provision kits. So they might give you, they might sell you like all the ingredients you need to make like a certain type of meal that they might have on their menu, and they'll like give you instructions and they'll make it a whole vibe. So sometimes
Sure.
places will sell like the idea of like a date night, and you buy this thing and you have a date night package, and you follow the steps and you put it together. All that to say, if you want to support, you can buy things like provision kits, gift cards, things along those lines. I've also seen some people come out with their own spice rubs, like they're selling aprons, hot sauces, things like that. So there's a variety of things, but it is turning to more of a product focus rather than like than an in-person experience focus, or even necessarily like a prepared food thing. So it is shifting a little bit, and it's probably going to continue to be that way, except for the relatively few restaurants who will continue to do takeout and all that jazz. So yeah, look for provision kits if you're trying to support locally, and check out their website. Sometimes they'll have different like other sorts of deals that they have on there.
Go support local business, guys. Go support. Go
Do it. It's
support.
important. Did you see? You sent it to me. You sent the Andrew Schultz thing. I want to hear your thoughts on that because I just found out about it today.
Let's give Andrew Schultz his props. Uh, this man's been grinding for months on this project. He just announced it today. It's a few hours ago. He is doing a 4-part comedy event on Netflix called Schultz Saves America.
So excited.
Yeah, I didn't know specifics or anything, but yeah, I talked to a couple guys around there about it, and yeah, it's Schultz is a grinder, man. He's one of the hardest working comics out there, and he's gonna put out a great project. I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be awesome.
I didn't realize I missed seeing his videos until he posted that today. What was the
Mm,
name of it was basically like John Oliver style. Did he have a name for
no,
those segments? Just whatever they were, he would have a
he just
topic and
posted
he'd
them
talk shit.
every
Yeah.
Saturday. He just posted them. Yeah,
Whatever they were. I missed seeing those in there. You just go so hard. So I'm really excited. It's so impressive that Netflix picked that up. Because he goes really hard. He's like he reminds me of like a New York nightclub comedian from like 15, 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Like a
that's
Dave
what he
Attell
is.
type.
He's a New York nightclub
Yeah.
comedian.
Yeah. I mean, like, but I guess in the vein of like a Dave Attell or something where they just go so hard without regard, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
pretty crazy because I feel like a lot of those comedians, they have to be so, I feel like they have to do it more on their own. Like controversy noted, Louis CK, he kind of built his own thing for a long time and then kind of got a little more famous, but he was one of the people who kind of would go, I mean, he's from Boston, but he's another one of
Yeah,
those people who would go especially hard.
it's great because Netflix, I don't. Netflix didn't give him his fair shake for a long time,
Mm.
and then they were kind of they're biting off of him a little bit for a while, and then I guess they came correct with the right bag, and now they're joining forces. So this will be This will be fun to see for sure. I'm excited to see this.
So were they just sleeping on him? I don't know this backstory. Were they just not wanting to work with
I
him
mean,
for a
I don't
while?
know all the details, but they definitely were not treating him with respect. I'll say that.
Hmm.
So
That's
nice to see
interesting.
that they came with the right bag, the right situation.
Yeah.
They're joining forces with Schultz and the team they got over there. Alex Media, Mark Gagnon, FA, the whole group, Robbie, all of them. So congratulations to the whole team. Uh, well done. I mean, that's you don't realize it's not like a massive team that they're working with.
Hmm.
It's literally Schultz and like 3, 4 other guys, and that's it.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yep.
They go hard. Besides seeing that post, were they talking about it on like Brilliant Idiots or any of those podcasts?
They were teasing it for a long time. Um, because they stopped in July doing the monologues. And
Mm,
I think they were talking with Netflix around that time, and then they finally made a deal.
sure.
And then yeah, and they made it happen. So
Good. That's good. Yeah,
yeah,
they've Netflix has been doing some good moves lately. Chappelle Show went on to Netflix. I guess comedy,
yes,
whatever company owns Comedy Central, sold the Chappelle Show to whatever conglomerate Netflix is, and so Netflix put it on like their streaming service. But Dave Chappelle didn't get paid for it. You know, part of that whole controversy from forever ago. So he was really frustrated about it, and he posted it on Instagram. He had like this whole part of his set that he was talking about it. He talked about it, and then Netflix took it down, like per his request, which is pretty interesting. Like they could
yeah,
keep it up; they don't have to, you know. Like obviously he's one of like he puts out really good content for them, but they didn't have to do that, but they did.
great move by Netflix. Great move. Great move by Netflix.
The question is,
Great PR.
will this strategy that Dave is implementing, will he get paid for it? Will this work?
Potentially. Uh, Comedy Central has been having a really tough time on their social media because all it is in every comment is backlash for treating Dave Chappelle bad.
Mm,
Like their comments are constantly just spammed with, hate hate for what they do for Chappelle. So I
mm.
think eventually they're gonna have to give in because Comedy Central is dying as it is. Like
Well,
they're
I
only
think
surviving because of reruns. They're not surviving because of the content they're currently putting out.
right. Yeah, it's very confusing because I don't know if it's still now that Comedy Central. I think I think it was Comedy Central essentially sold it to Netflix or like their
Yeah,
parent company sold it. So I don't even know if commenting on Comedy Central's page would even be effective at this point. I don't know how he would get his money. Like who would be the best person to go to? Maybe Comedy Central. I really don't know.
I don't
But yeah,
know.
they're going out of business. So I don't know if that's the best move. Um, Comedy Central is just. I feel like it's been janky for a long time. And I know Schultz has talked about this a lot. I mean, Key and Peele, I'm trying to think, they've had good shows on there in the past decade or so, but I feel like they just fuck it up. Well, I mean, obviously, I know that like a lot of comedians have not gotten opportunities on that show that should have, or on that channel that should have gotten opportunities, but also shows that did get opportunities, like didn't get like continued, like the David Spade Lights Out show. I don't know if you ever saw clips
That
of
was
that.
one season.
That was one season.
Yeah,
And but it was like it was really I thought it was really good. I mean, it was kind of like an old school it was old school new school format and it was really good. Like there were clips all over Facebook and YouTube and I thought it was really solid and then they just didn't pick it up. And I was like, how could you not? It was doing so well. Like it was one of their top shows. How do you not sign that again? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Comedy Central, in my opinion, is already dead. I
Yeah, I
don't
think
see a point
that's
in trying to revive the brand. I think
yeah, it's done, I
it's
think.
funny because Netflix still has cachet. I really wonder if Netflix will be around and be at the powerhouse it is 10 years from now.
If Netflix will be.
Half of me thinks it will, half of me thinks it won't. You can be a company and not make money for a while,
Mm-hmm.
but in order to last, you have to turn a profit at some point, and Netflix still isn't turning a profit yet.
Still?
Yeah. So to me, it's like, okay, there has to be some sort of time clock going on now,
Hmm.
right?
Maybe, yeah, I've heard
You
that for
can't
so long,
be.
like Netflix isn't making money, and I wonder if that's a
It's gonna have to implode at some time. It has to,
yeah,
unless they can find a way to actually profit consistently for the next few years.
I guess so. Well, I think
I
one
think this
thing
might
that they're
be.
doing,
I have to look at the numbers, but I think this might be the only year where they actually turn a profit.
I think one thing that they're doing that's really smart is they're making original content, and I think that will pay dividends in the future. I think that's a really smart move. But
Yeah,
I don't know. I've heard a lot of people say like, "Oh, they're not turning a profit. They're not turning a profit. Like, how long can they last?" And they just continue to. And maybe it's like maybe it's just a imploding thing. But I
maybe
do
I'm wrong.
wonder. I don't know enough about this particular situation, but I do wonder if those headlines are a misrepresentation of a business principle that I don't know. Like maybe the company itself doesn't need to make a profit if they have, like I was saying, like assets, like if they have like products that they're making money off of or whatever, like I could see other situations where they would be fine.
That's true because while they have a ridiculous amount of original content, which the person might ask, how they pay for all this. But when you have a show like The Crown, a show like Stranger Things,
Yeah.
that pays all the bills for the place.
I feel like it might. I mean, I'm sure it costs a
Maybe
lot to produce,
maybe
but
that's what they're going for, just having two or three huge things at a time, and that'll pay for all the other content that they have to produce.
sure. And I mean, I know
That's
they
how record
go
labels work.
really hard with how they do like their consumer data and everything, so I'm sure that's probably how they make a lot of money too. um but yeah, it's really interesting. Have you watched what's that new show? I haven't watched it yet. Well, there's actually two shows I wanted to ask you if you've seen. One of them I started, one of them I haven't. One of them is actually not even on Netflix, but the one on Netflix is Queen's Gambit. I've been wanting to watch that, and I've heard really good things, but haven't started it yet.
I've been wanting to. I haven't started yet. I've heard really good things, although the people I've heard good things from, I don't trust their opinion. But it seems like it's the show to watch right now, so maybe I'll get into it at some point.
Yeah, I've heard a variety of people say it was really good, so we might want to. That might be one that goes on the podcast docket if we're both interested. It seems like it could be good.
Mm,
Maybe
that
it
might
seems like a shorter series, so that could be something.
that could be
Um,
potential. I'm with it.
Also,
I'm with it.
cool. Another one I was thinking. I just started watching Mandalorian maybe last week, and it's so good. Have you seen any of it,
I haven't, but I do have Disney Plus, so I have an excuse not to watch it.
dude? Okay,
I think that's on
that
my
might.
list for this Christmas break is to do Mandalorian. That's my
Okay,
bucket list.
we might have to bring it up an episode or two because I'm gonna be binging a few over these next few weekends with the fam. But apparently the episodes, like I'm still on the first. I don't know if it's seasons or what, but I'm only
There's
on
two
episode.
seasons.
Okay, so I'm still on the first season and I'm maybe midway through, but I've heard that the second season is even better. And Jon Favreau just goes so hard. What I've been saying, I felt this for so long. Like Jon Favreau will take like the essential things of a franchise or a career or just a thing and make it better and like actually portray the essence of a thing. It's so good. Like
Right.
I love the chef movie that he made. That's just I love that. Like Elf is like a quintessential Christmas movie. It just takes like the
That you
music
have
is
to watch every
perfect.
year. You have
The
to.
the shots are perfect for that genre. The music is perfect for it. Like the aesthetic is there. Like Iron Man's another great example where it's like he
Perfect
figured out how
example.
to make like a classic perfect superhero movie. So I've heard Swingers is amazing. um just posing. Swingers is supposed to be great, dude. Uh, but then Mandalorian, he's like involved, like very involved with it, like writing. I don't know how much he's directed, but he's written a ton of it, and it's just so good. He just kills it. So I've been loving that so far. I think I'm 5 episodes deep, and there's a guy. The main guy he was in Narcos Baez, and he was also in
Yeah,
Game of
Pedro
Thrones.
Pascal.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Kills it. I have yet to see his face in this show. I don't know if that ever
So is
happens,
Bill
but
Burr. Bill Burr's an episode.
that's what I've heard. Yes.
Gina Carano, former UFC champion, also in it.
I don't know who that is.
She's the really tough chick in it.
Oh, I do know who that is. She was
Yep.
just in an episode. Yep, I did see her. Yep, yeah, she's been good. Yeah, what's really cool about it too is they do a ton of practical effects. Because I guess the budget has been really small for them, so they've managed to do, for the most part, practicals, which is kind of true to the original Star Wars series.
That's kind of
And
cool. I kind of like
yes,
that idea.
so
Yeah.
like Baby Yoda is a puppet.
Yeah.
A lot of their aliens are puppets. Yeah, just a lot of their setup is just way more practical rather than CGI, and it saves them a lot of money. And it honestly looks really good. And I really feel like I think we probably talked about this in one of our first episodes. I really feel like it adds like a layer of like a dimensionality to it, like a tangibility to it that's I really like.
For
When
sure.
you watch it, let me know when you start binging it, and we'll have to talk about this more in the pod.
We'll do it. We'll do it for sure.
Sweet.
Should we do what you jamming and then get out
Oh
of here?
yeah, let's do what you're jamming. Do you? I have a playlist to recommend. Do you have anything you got for this?
Um, basically, I've been in the gym. I've been playing a lot of Pop Smoke recently.
Oh yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Pop Smoke, it was a rapper from New York. Now, the last 2 years, he's been like one of like the guys in hip hop. Was killed last year, 1 month before his album came out.
Yeah.
Um, um, which kind of made his album like one of the biggest of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
He was shot and killed in February, I believe, at the age of 20. Wasn't even legally allowed to drink yet, and the man was killed in LA on the opposite side of the country from his home.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, he recorded like a ton of music last year, like that wasn't ever released. So like you just hear like these features and like some of these songs come out after his death, and
Hmm.
it's like the music is just phenomenal. Like it's a perfect blend of like the 50 Cent era of New York combined with like the modern era of New York. It's like a perfect blend of the two, and he just does it so well.
Hmm.
And like everyone in hip hop loved him. Like there wasn't a single person in hip hop who did not like him. He's like one of those few people that like everyone in hip hop like embraced
Hmm.
at such a young age. And he was listening to music, you just realized how much talent he had and like how big it could have gotten.
Damn.
Like I think by 2025, you could have been like the level of Drake. Like that's how much talent this guy had, and taken away too soon. Over a little beef.
Hmm.
And so yeah, his music is great lifting music. It's hard, it's grimy. Um, but there's a level of precision in there too. It's just great stuff to listen to. So I've been playing his album over and over again.
Hmm.
Also just playing The Weekend because hashtag F the Grammys. Um,
Yeah.
I talked about this a little bit last time, but the Grammys to me meant a lot. I watched them every single year for years, even though they would do wrong by certain artists. You know, I still would give them a chance every year. But for me, this was the final straw. It pains me to say, but I am boycotting the Grammys this year.
Hmm.
Um, Even though I love a lot of the work that's put out this year musically, I am rooting for Dua Lipa. I think after the Weeknd's album, her album was by far number two. Um, just a fantastic piece of work. So I'm hoping she'll do well there. But other than that, hashtag boycott the Grammys. I can't do it. So I was playing The Weeknd on repeat, throw up his numbers just to give it a little extra middle finger to the Grammys. So that's been on my playlist lately.
I feel that. I have a playlist to recommend. If you're on Spotify, you can look up Yes Vember. So it's like November, Yes Vember. If you look up Yes Vember, Isaac Kraus, you can find
Shout out to
that.
Isaac Krauss.
Yeah, shout out Isaac Kraus. He does these monthly playlists that I really like, and it's a good variety. I can struggle to find a really great variety for myself, so I really value um,
Yo,
a
wait,
diverse playlist.
don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, what's up?
Um, just hit. I don't know if you
I,
can see that. Just hit 1,500 followers on Instagram.
hey,
Small milestone, but
all right.
just
That's
just
cool.
it was a milestone for me this year to hit 1,500 IG. Just hit it.
Oh wow, that's great, dude.
Kind of happy about that. So,
Hell yeah, man. That's
anyways,
great.
continue the
That's fun that we
Isaac
just
Cross
found that.
playlist. Let's hear more about it.
Yeah. Oh, just a good variety. There's just some hip hop. There's some stuff that I had really liked from that Lorem playlist, that Spotify Lorem playlist that I found that I recommended a while back. Yeah, just really good variety. Would recommend it. And he has Isaac Krauss has a bunch of other playlists out there too. He does one for each month. So if you find the Yes Vember one, I'm sure you can find his page and then find all of his playlists. So check it out. It's really good stuff.
Are they just like random playlists, like walk around the house too? Are they meant for like a certain thing, or just like, hey, here's some
I
new music, check it out?
I think it's just his favorite music of the previous month. So I think it was just his.
Oh, the previous month. Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So I think what it generally, if I had to guess, and I haven't asked him how he puts it together, but I think it's just he'll listen to a bunch of music and his favorite stuff he'll all compile into a playlist for that month and then share with everybody. So he's probably
Okay.
working on something for December right now. So yeah, he's been doing this for a while. I've been a big fan. Like I said, it's difficult for me to find music. I just really like having diverse playlists because it can be tricky for me to get. I can listen to one song on repeat for like a week straight and just I don't know.
Same.
It's I can actually enjoy it. I like doing that. So I like finding other playlists and then yeah, so that's been good. So if you're like me, it might be a good playlist for you. But
Love it.
yeah, man. I'm feeling good. You feeling good?
Speaking of Spotify, you're on Spotify, Kenny.
I am on Spotify.
Where can they
If
find you on Spotify?
you can find my playlist, my EP actually, Bucket List. If you look up Kenny Martin Bucket List on Spotify, I think it's also on Apple Music, SoundCloud, a lot of streaming services. So yeah, you can check that out. Everything is linked, like my food Instagram page, and my music, even the podcast. It's all in my bio on Instagram at KP Martin too, so you can find everything there. Baez, you can, if you're not following Baez, you should pile on.
Just
He
hope
just hit
that's 1,500.
that 1500 hitter.
It's kind of dope. I kind of proud of
That's
myself
dope,
right
man.
now.
That's
Yeah.
dope. Add to his numbers. Add to the following. Add to the yeah. I'm trying to think of what the name of your followers would be, like the Beehive or something.
No.
Um,
No. Already taken.
well, I'm saying as an example, like the Beehive. I'm not saying the Beehive. But what's Baez? What's your Instagram handle for the people?
My name, Baeza, BAEZATENSEIE. You can follow me there. The Instagram handle for the podcast, the Cook and the Coach on Instagram. Me and Ken are gonna have some meetings either this week or next week about some updates coming to the show, so we're excited for that.
Oh yeah.
Um, I am almost done with this personal project we're talking about. I'm this close,
All right.
so
All right.
I might have it done by the next time we do the episode. Maybe not, but we'll see.
Mm.
But yeah, that was another episode of the Cook and the Coach, guys. Thank you for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe on all our channels and platforms. It helps us out a ton. We feel like we got some momentum going, so please tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers, tell them to join this ride. And if you have any questions or anything you want to reach out to us, you want to go back to doing listener questions, we can do that too. So yeah, that's been another episode. Thank you guys for listening.
Peace.